Holy shit, 41 miles an hour. Oh my God, we are jamming, what the hell? All right, here it is. This is the ARIEL Rider KEPLER, and this is a big ass bike. Big and fast, but I do have some pros and cons about it. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna take this thing to work today, and we're gonna go over a lot of stuff. First, I wanna start off with how the bike came and what the company said and how long it's gonna take for me to get like a replacement part for this thing, because shipping is actually a big issue on these bikes. But I will say at the end of the day, you guys are getting a very, very good bike for a good price. So even though there are some negatives in this video, keep in mind, I actually think this is a bike that is worth the price. But let's get into it, get on the road, and get riding. But real quick, before we do that, let me just go over a little bit of stuff on the bike, just in case you don't know about it, even though there's tons of reviews out there already, but let's go over it just really, really quick. So this bike costs $17.99. Normally it's $2,000, but right now it's at $1,800. You get some grips right here. We'll talk about them later. They kind of move. You got turn signals right here. They're only in the back, not the front. You got a dedicated headlight button right here. You got a power switch, and then you got the up and down buttons. You got a nice display. I do like this display, but I do not like the back. I do not like how those wires connect in there, because you're limited on where you mount this at, because look at how close it is to this. So I was kind of limited on the angle of my screen. It was kind of a pain in the ass to put on. You got a little bell right here. I think some places it's illegal to ride a bicycle without a bell, so I mean they just put something on there. You got your 7-speed right here, which you probably can't see. There you go, now you can see it. You got a half throttle, which is very nice. It might hurt your hand over time, depending on how your hands are. A full throttle would be nice, or a thumb throttle. That's kind of what I like, but actually a lot of people like this. You got hydraulic brakes from Tektro. You got a decent headlight. We'll see how this headlight is at night. You got some fenders, I like that, but they are plastic, so they're not the best quality, but hey, they're still gonna keep mud and dirt off of you. You got suspension forks up here, very nice. You got big rotors in the front and the back. You got your standard pedals. You got your long battery right here, which is a 20 amp hour, 52 volt battery. Doesn't look that big, but trust me, this bike is massive. It's absolutely massive. You got some stuff right here to put a water bottle holder if you want. Hopefully it'd fit, I'm not sure. You got your controller right in here, and it's a 33 amp controller, so that's pretty powerful for a 52 volt system. And then you have your Bafang motor back here, which is 1,000 watt with a peak of about 1,800 watts. And then you have your rear rack right here. This is a beefy rack. This is actually one of the nicest racks I've probably seen on a bike so far. So I really give it to them for this rear rack. And then in the far back right here, this is where you have your brake light, and it actually works with the brakes, and then your turn signals are integrated into here too. They're really hard to see when you're actually using the turn signals, so I mean that's up to you if you want to use them, but it's cool that it comes with it. And then here's your Shimano Altis derailleur right down here, and then our huge chain ring up here. So it should feel pretty natural when you're pedaling. And then again, there it tells you the battery information, 52 volt, 20 amp hour. Should get some decent range. This seat is pretty comfortable from when I've been riding it. All right, so now I'm gonna switch to my GoPro and we're gonna head to work. All right, so let's start from the beginning. It's gonna be pretty bad at the beginning, but then we'll get into the bike and talk about it. So let's just get past this really quick. And I wanna mention on my first experience with ARIEL Rider. So ARIEL Rider actually reached out to me to send me this bike, and then we were going back and forth multiple times talking about it. And then they stopped getting back to me. They didn't send me the contract. So I decided, you know what? I'm gonna buy this my own self. Someone just sleeping right there? All right. I heard from all you guys that this is a super cool bike. So I was like, you know what? I'll just spend my hard-earned money on it from you guys watching the channel. And I bought it so I can say whatever I want. Well, upon delivery, this bike comes in 2 different boxes. The box was perfectly fine. Not a single dent or scratch in it. No holes, no nothing. I opened the bike, and it had a few scratches. So there's one ding right here, you guys probably can't see, and then there's multiple ones on this side right here, like big chips taken out of it. I was like, all right, this sucks. I contacted ARIEL Rider and they said, hey, there's a touch-up paint in the box. All right, no problem. So I searched for it and found it in a little baggie with all the extra screws and nuts and everything. I go to put it in, it's black. It's not the same color as my bike. So I sent them an email a couple days later and I said, all right, about that touch-up paint, if I can please get that, that'd be great. I wanted to look brand new. It's like if you bought a car brand new, you don't want to have it arrive from a delivery truck and there be scratches or paint chips all over the place. Then the company should have someone come out and fix it, right? Well, obviously no one's gonna come out and fix an electric bike, and I understand that, but I feel like they should be offering like a 10 or 15% discount. And they said, since I didn't purchase the shipping protection, which I guess is like 55 bucks, and I can't prove that it was on the website in September of 2022 when I ordered this bike, so I don't even know if that was an option for me when I ordered this bike. But they said since I didn't purchase that, I don't qualify to get any type of replacement bike or anything like that because I didn't pay for that. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, this isn't a shipping issue. This is how they're putting them in the boxes, because guess what? I had 5 of you guys reach out to me, some in the comments, some on Instagram, some on the pages and stuff like that, and said, I just received my Model 2, the gray one, because it's the high step one. The high step ones are the ones that are taking the damage because of how they ship them with the bars like bit and everything like that. All right, car, it'd be nice if you go. Thanks, appreciate it. So it's really how they're shipping these bikes. It has nothing to do with the shipping company. So it's like, they either take responsibility for the way they're packing these things, because when I unboxed it, you guys saw me unbox it, I even said in the video. Anyways, there wasn't a lot of foam that I saw, so hopefully the bike is not scratched up. That it was packed in there so tight with no foam whatsoever. Compared to the Zeus bike we got at the exact same time, the Zeus bike had a shit ton of foam in there. This didn't have a lot of foam in the package. So it really concerned me that the bike might be scratched. Go, 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 go. So a little bit disappointing, right? It's not like the end of the world, but you know, I would kind of expect a little bit of a compensation for my bike being damaged, because I really bought this bike for you guys so I can review it, and then I'm gonna sell it at the end of the day. Like, I'm probably gonna get rid of it in a couple of months just because I don't have room for it. All right, I'm going. So I don't like how they handle that situation, and the fact that it came with black touch-up paint and not the color that I actually needed. That kind of sucks, let's be real. All right, so that's the bad news. So we got that out of the way, but now let's actually talk about the bike. Now, the bike is fast as shit. I mean, let's be real. This bike is probably the cheapest bike you can buy for the speed that it gets. Look at this, 33, it was 33 for a second, so 33 right now, 30, it's gonna go to 34. It just wants to keep climbing, 35 miles an hour. It's still moving up there, and we're flying. Trust me, that feels about right. The tire size in the settings says 28, and these are 26-inch tires, but I think it goes off the overall diameter of how tall the tire is, and these are tall tires, so 28 sounds about right in the settings. And no, this definitely feels fast. I know what 30 miles an hour feels like, and this is 35, and that definitely felt super fast. So I see why everyone's buying this bike, and it's subjective on how I feel about this bike. This isn't my style of bike. Like, it's so high off the ground, it's so big. I'm more into the cafe racer, like the lower bikes. They're a little bit lighter than this, you know, they're not as beefy and big and bulky. But there are some pros to that, where I feel like everyone on the road can see me. Compared to a smaller bike, I'm probably not gonna be seen as much like on the BMX bike, like the Zeus. But on this bike, people can definitely pinpoint me. Go, bike, go. But the bad thing about it is it's really bulky in my garage, and it takes up a lot more room compared to a lot of my other e-bikes. And then moving it around is kind of a pain in the ass because it's so big and heavy. But you're really buying this bike to get that top speed and that nice acceleration. I mean, you can't beat it for the price. 1,800 bucks on sale. I think the regular price is like $2,000. 33 amps pulling from the 52 volt controller, and a nice 20 amp hour battery. Now, with having that power, the battery is gonna die a little bit faster, but this thing is just badass. Now, I said it in some previous videos, is that as I'm riding this bike, a lot of you guys probably aren't gonna like this comment, because I know this bike is very popular, and I also have affiliate codes with the company, you know, trying to promote this bike too. But since I bought it myself, I'm gonna say what I wanna say. And that's the fact that this bike feels cheap. The fenders are cheap, they're plastic, they're flapping around all over the place. The suspension in the front, I like that you have suspension. It doesn't feel that comfortable. I've been adjusting the preload as much as possible. It's not the nicest suspension I've been on, but it's definitely smoother than some other bikes that have obviously no suspension. Like, I've been riding the Zeus for a while, and that has no suspension at all. But it's just not the best. And obviously there's no suspension in the back, so it's a hardtail e-bike. But I think a lot of people aren't gonna mind that. And what I am trying to get at by cheap, like, okay, these grips move as I'm riding. Like, they move back and forth. Let me get a straightaway real quick and I'll show you this other side. All right, so right over here, look, so this grip, if you guys can see that, it's moving. I mean, yeah, it's a little hard to move, but I mean, it's not on there very good. The handlebars are fine. I mean, the handlebars are handlebars. Now, it does come with a bell and all that kind of stuff, but obviously this bell isn't that great. It's not gonna do too much, but I mean, I guess it's good that they put something on there, right? The display is nice, I'll give them that, but the connections to the display that I showed you earlier in the video, they just suck. I don't like how they did the connections to them. I feel like they should have had the wires running off of it already so you had more wiggle room to bend the wires more. And then they should have had the connections on the actual like wiring. But I will say the half throttle is nice. The Shimano 7-speed is okay. It's not the best. I've been having a lot of problems with mine. I have mine in gear number 5 because when I change it to another gear, it skips. And I've seen a lot of other reviewers saying the same thing where it's actually skipping. So I just keep it to 5. I don't even use the pedals. And I think that's because when they shipped the bike, I believe my derailleur probably got bent. And I was looking at it, I tried to bend it as much as possible, but it seemed like it didn't do anything. All right, so hitting this, going pretty fast. It's decently smooth, it's not the best. The seat is okay. Like, you'll be okay with the seat if you maybe do like 10 miles going one way. But if you do a full like 20 miles plus, actually I'd just say 15 miles plus, this seat's not gonna feel very comfortable. It's not the best seat I've sat on. I would probably go with like a Cloud 9 seat to put on here because Cloud 9 makes some really, really good seats. So that's just something to think about. Now moving over here, you have a dedicated headlight button, which I think is super, super nice. I think a lot of bikes should come with that. And then the turn signals right here are, that's a pretty nice feature, don't get me wrong, but I feel like you can't see these turn signals at all. Maybe if someone's sitting right directly behind you, they're gonna see them if they're really looking at your bike, but they're not noticeable whatsoever. But I mean, hey, it comes with it, right? But here's one of my biggest complaints about aerial rider bikes, and this happened on the Grizzly too. So check this out. So I wanted to slow down to kind of show you this. So I'm gonna move the throttle as slow as I can. All right, so I moved it about 10%, right? Oh, I barely moved it like 1% again. Oh crap, but look, now I moved it like maybe another 1% and it's already taken off. Watch this. I move it another 5% and it's almost fully taken off. I move it another 5%, it's full out. It's like going. So it's like really sensitive to the throttle. So like, check this out. 20% or 25% on this throttle is full out. There's really no curve from like 0 to 100. It's literally 0 to 25, you might have some adjustability, and then after 25 throttle input, it's maxed out. You're going as fast as possible. And to give you a better understanding of that, it's kind of like when you let off and you're not trying to go too fast, but then you're trying to get back on the throttle, it kind of like goes back and forth. Like you get that little jolt feeling, like holy crap, like, oh, the bike's taking off. And that's exactly what I got on the Grizzly, and I didn't like it. So I feel like it needs a little bit of throttle control, but I feel like that's how aerial rider bikes have been. At least with the Grizzly, you have 2 motors, so you can shut one of the motors off so the bike doesn't pull as fast. But let's go to the speed real quick. Holy shit! 40 miles an hour, 41 miles an hour. Oh my God, we are jamming. What the hell? That is badass. Over 40 miles an hour on a bike under $2,000. Oh God, dang. I'm stuck in traffic. This bike's too heavy to hop over the fence, so we're stuck. Since there's no bike lane here, I can't go around people, so I'm pretty much stuck with traffic. Kind of defeats the purpose of having a bicycle, so go, go, go. Go, go, go. And here's a quick update. It's about 7 miles to my work, and we're at 90%. So it took about 10% to get to work, so that's not terrible. But follow along for the night footage, because riding at night when the weather is a lot colder, which is probably going to be around like the 45C to 50C, I feel like our battery range is going to be a lot worse. But we didn't do too bad coming to work. I'll give it that. What's that?
Another one?
Yeah.
Really?
What?
Jesus Christ.
have a bunch.
That's a nice one, actually.
I'll sell this one for you for $1,200 when I'm done with it.
How about you just give it to me and I'll do a review for it too.
I actually bought this one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, this was $1,800. Oh, $1,950 after tax.
That looks nice.
But it's fast. I was doing I think 41 or 42 coming down the overpass, and it does about 35, 36 flat.
Damn.
Yeah, it moves pretty good.
Big ass tires.
Yeah.
They're so fucking big.
I don't know, go off-roading, I guess. This one was $1,800.
That's it?
Yeah. It's not too bad. I actually bought this one myself to review it because a lot of people told me how fast it was.
What did they give them to you to review?
Most of them.
A big ass bike, dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling people. It's huge, huh?
Yeah, it's huge.
It's really big in my garage.
I probably couldn't even touch the ground if I sit on that thing.
That's why I have the seat so low. I'm like 5'10" or so, and I can't have the seat that high.
5 inches on me.
Oh yeah, you'd have a problem.
Yeah.
I said I got a bike for you that's gonna beat yours.
A bike that will what?
That will beat yours.
What bike?
This one.
Oh shit, let me see it. Let me ride it.
What bike?
Well, you want to ride it?
You got one of these, Artie?
Yeah.
I'll let you ride it.
How many volts?
52
52.
volt.
Is this the latest one you
Oh,
got?
I got a 40.
Yeah.
I got 1,000 watts.
This one's 2,000.
Oh shit. Yeah, it'll beat mine.
Yeah.
How
I
fast
think
you
it's.
go?
I got it to 42 coming down the overpass.
Oh, it's coming down though.
Yeah, but it does about 35, 36 on
Right at
flat.
like 28.
Okay. You would like this one.
Yeah.
You should try this one out.
It's nice.
How much
How
was
much
it?
is it?
It was $1,800.
Oh, that's gonna take $2 grand.
Yeah. It's actually a very good price for what you get.
Do you own it?
No, I paid full price for
Oh,
it.
you're not gonna make a video?
Pretty hefty.
No, I am. I'll make one right now.
1,800, man. That's a lot of money.
It'll be all.
Yeah.
I'm barely paying off those 2 bikes I bought.
For the
You bought 2 of these?
Mine are a little bit different.
From here?
They're a fat tire, but they're a little bit. I don't know. They're pretty similar. This back rack is a lot thicker than mine.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah, it's nice. You got turn signals, a working brake light.
Oh, yeah, I don't have turn signals. I do have a working brake light now that I put it up there.
Oh
And
yeah.
I got a headlight. You got a headlight?
Yeah, I have a headlight.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Dang, it's nice.
All right, so I get to see how this light looks at night. Let's pull over here really quick before we actually take off. Oh, here's one thing I just noticed that's kind of odd on this bike, is that if your foot is right here on the pedal, see the pedal? Your foot's here, my foot comes in contact with the fender. So you gotta be careful on your placement there. So I went into the settings and I automatically turned the headlights to come on automatically, but it doesn't go through this display. So if you can see the display, it has a little indicator showing that the headlight is supposed to be on, but it goes off of this button right here. So I'm assuming if you keep this button on at all times, it will automatically come on. So I guess you don't really ever have to use that button unless you really want to. And I feel like the headlight's a little high. Let's see how the back looks. This bike is so long. How am I gonna hold the brakes and show you? I gotta show you like this because this bike is so big. So this is the brake light right here. Let's get a little blinker going. So these are how the blinkers look. I don't know how it's coming over the GoPro, but I'll be honest. I mean, it's cool, it has it, but those are garbage. You're not gonna see them at all. They need to be ones that like stick on here and then come out to here, and they're very bright. That's not gonna work at all. It's cool, it has it, like I said, but don't expect it to be like, oh my God, I got turn signals. People are gonna know where I'm going. Nah, they're not. Let's get on the way and go. Get to test out this headlight right now. Don't hit me, don't hit me, don't hit me. Okay. Is this like a daily thing? This thing's like, it seems like it happens like every single day. Does anyone notice that? Every day. I think this happened in the last like 3 videos I've done, is someone always like pulling out when I'm coming through my parking lot. It's like, I know I'm a bike and I understand that, but how come people don't even see my headlight and look and be like, oh, hey, someone's coming? No. All right, so anyways, back to the riding. Now this headlight, okay, let me get a feel for it. Let me get a feel for it. All right. Now it's not terrible. Let me lift it up a little bit. You know what? This light isn't terrible, actually. It's not like those big hunking 6 or 7 inch headlights that come on some of these e-bikes nowadays, like the Lyric Cycle, or even the Super 73 light's awesome. The Onyx RCR light is awesome. Like, I'm talking about factory ones. This isn't bad. It's not super wide. It's a little bit wider than the standard ones that I've seen on bikes, but this is doable. I can see. Yeah, I can't complain about this headlight at all. I'm content. We'll go on this little bike path over here where there's really no lights, and I'll show you guys how it is. I'm going across here. Woo. All right, so here's where the real test comes in. It's pretty dark over here, so if I turn off the light, this is how it looks like, and then this was with the light on. That's actually really good. I'm actually being able to see a little bit in these bushes. Not as much as I would like, but I mean, I can definitely see. Yeah, it's not bad. Now, if you really want to see, obviously go and get an aftermarket headlight, of course. And I probably would. If this is my main bike, I'd probably get a secondary one. But if you're trying to save every penny, and you bought this bike because you're trying to save money and you're trying to get the best bang for your buck, and you don't want to spend an extra $50 on an aftermarket headlight, you really don't have to. Look at this. There's no lights around me whatsoever. Let me turn this light off. I can't see. It's so dark. This is nice. Yeah, I can deal with this. Let's try out these brakes really quick. I know I kind of use them a little bit, but I haven't really slammed on them. Let's try. Okay. They're pretty good. I'm noticing that my front brake is making a lot of noise, though. Let me try that out again, see if you guys can hear this. Oh, man. This is what I'm talking about with the Ariel Rider bikes. Like, it's great that it has hydraulic brakes, and it's great that it's priced very well, but some of the parts feel a little cheap. Let's try that again. Look, just front brake only. Yeah, I mean, it still stops me. Holy crap, can you guys see the smoke coming off my light? Man, we really breaking in those brake pads. And just really quick so you guys know, this trip distance is totally off. So it is 7 miles or 6.8 miles to my work. I reset it before we did this trip, and we're at 5.9 miles. So I've already done a mile going home, so it should be at like 8 miles right now. So that is completely off. And I don't know exactly why. Maybe it's because it's the wheel diameter speed. I'm not 100% sure. But just something to keep in mind. When we get back to the house, that is not going to read correctly. That also might give you an idea if when you're riding and you think you did 20 miles, you actually probably did like 25 miles or something like that. That's just something to think about. You're actually probably doing more like range than you think you really are. So don't get discouraged if, I don't know, you do like 20 miles on this bike. You probably did a little bit more than that. Which I'm kind of lost on what the range would be on this bike. I'm really trying to like figure it out, because it's a 20 amp hour battery, but it's a really fast bike. 33 amps coming from the controller. So that makes me think, with this bike being a little bit heavier and pushing that many amps, and it's a 20 amp hour battery, it's almost the same battery size as the Zeus, and I only got 23 miles on the Zeus. Even though that is like a 19.2, it's technically 0.8 amp hours smaller than this battery. I feel like this is only going to get us maybe like 20 miles. But I got to give it to them. It only took us 10% to get to work. But sometimes these things are really inaccurate. So it says we're at 76. Let me let off so it's not going off of the voltage sag of the throttle. It says now 75% battery, and I'm off the throttle completely. So we're losing battery way fast. That first 10% took a while to go down, and we already lost 15% on like the first like 2 miles going home. Another thing I noticed on this bike is the turning radius. It's okay, it's not the best. I mean, it's a big tire and they're huge. So when you turn, you gotta lean with the bike. Do not expect to be able to take like sharp turns or anything like that. Obviously, like, you know, you can do whatever you want with the bike. You can probably turn it as fast as you possibly want to be safe. But all I'm saying is, like, it stays straight for the most part when you're riding the bike. And when you want to turn, you just have to put a little bit more effort in compared to other bikes on the market. Trust me, take my word for it. This one's a little bit harder. This reminds me of the Okai e-bike that you can get at Best Buy for like $2,000. Huge tires are exactly the same as this, and it was really hard to turn it. But personally, that makes me feel like this bike is a little bit more safer because it's not as easy to throw yourself on. Like someone that's kind of like all over the place, you know, kind of shaky and stuff like that. I feel like this is a good bike to keep straight with. And these guys are just making a fire. All right, that's how fires start. I swear to God, if this area, if I come back and there's a fire, something's burned down, it's because of those guys, and I have it on footage. They're seriously making a fire right under a big ass bush that can light up in flames. Man. And quick update right now is 33.6 miles per hour. And it definitely feels fast. Definitely feels like I'm almost going like 35 miles an hour. It feels very fast. Which brings me to another topic. Where does this bike actually stand at? Because there's a sticker on this bike, if I'm not mistaken, that says Class 2. Yeah, right behind the controller, there's a sticker that says Class 2 e-bike. This isn't a Class 2 e-bike at all. This is like a Class 4. I mean, I'm not hating on it, you know, like, hey, you got to be able to get up hills if you're in San Francisco or anywhere where, like, you know, you need to climb something. Like, all these bikes that are 750 watt, they're not going to make it up a big old hill, so I get it, you know, you need the power. But most of these people that are going to ride this bike, they're going to be going max speed. So where does this bike land at? It's not Class 3. I'm not pedaling at all. Class 3 is 28 miles an hour. I don't know. What would you say? Are people going to say this is a motorcycle now because it's technically not in the required specs of being legal? I don't know. I gotta say, I love this bike, even though it feels cheap. Definitely getting places very fast. Yeah, you really can't beat this, you know, this price for this bike for what you're getting. It's just, I hear a lot of like rattles. Like obviously the brake sucks. I hear my chain like bouncing up and down, so it makes a vibration in the pedals, and I hate that vibration. And it's also making a clunking noise because I think the chain is hitting the frame because it's like bouncing up and down. All right, I'm going for it. I'm going for it. Oh, now you want to turn green, huh? Okay. So it says we did 8 miles so far, and that is not right. That is totally off. Woohoo! Woo, we were at 64%. What the heck happened? The last I checked, it was at 74, and it stayed there for a while, and then boom, 64. Holy moly. What are we gonna be left at when I get to the house? Now 63. This thing is moving quick. I'm talking about the bike and the battery bar. This is moving. You guys gotta drop a comment and let me know, the people that have been riding this bike for a while, what your range has been. Because I was thinking what I wanted to do for the next video is take this to work without charging it and just see what our miles would be. Now, you guys are just gonna have to believe me on that because this mileage on here doesn't make sense. It's not right at all. So you're just gonna take my word for it if we do another video and I don't charge it. Going back to work, we'll roughly have like 21 miles. Like, let's say 20 to 21 miles going to work if I take it back. And I feel like that's gonna be it. Because I'm at 59% now. What happened to my battery? Probably has to do with the cold weather and how they set up the bike to read the voltage and everything like that. And I don't even know if there's an actual voltage reading on here. I know that you can connect the display with an app on your phone and like adjust some stuff. But is there a way to change it so I can actually see the voltage instead of a battery percent? I feel like bikes need to all have that in their bikes somehow. If their display doesn't include it on what they want to put on their bike that uses the controller and all that stuff, because you can't just throw any display on any controller, but they should have something hooked up that shows you the voltage somewhere, whether it be on the handlebar or the key switch or something. I need to know the voltage. I'm also starting to think that we're probably using a little bit more battery at night too, because we're using the lights and the tail light and all that stuff now. So obviously that drains a little bit of power. So I'm very skeptical if I take this to work. I'll have to bring the charger 100% because we're gonna have to charge it at work. But I'm just curious on where we're gonna be left at. So if you guys drop a comment, let me know what you've got on range out of this bike if you own one. I'm just curious to know. But it's a good bike. I mean, what can I say? It's not the best quality. I feel like what I would like to see is the electric bike company e-bikes that are made in USA, they're built here in California. Obviously the company outsources parts from, all over the place, right? Man, this bike is slowing down hella fast. It feels like it has regen on it or something. But those electric bike company e-bikes are 100% built solid. I mean, they feel so premium. Their spokes are made in-house, like their wheels, all that kind of stuff, right? It feels 10 times better than this bike in quality. But electric bike company, their bikes are slow. They're beach cruisers. I would love to see a bike like this with this amount of power, but better quality parts. I know you're getting a lot, and I know a lot of people are gonna say, well, it comes with it, comes with this. Yeah, I get it. You guys probably didn't hear what I said, but it comes with this. I was kind of mumbling real quick. But I'm being serious. I just wish the quality was better on this bike, or even the electric bike company made a bike that was solid and had better top speed, but they just haven't came out with anything crazy. But yeah, I mean, hey, under $2,000, you can't complain. And honestly, I would say pick up one right now because it's just gonna keep going up and up. I could see this bike being $2,000 on sale price like very soon, the next couple months. And if you guys want to support the page, I'll have a link down in the description so you guys can save. I believe it's like 150 bucks off the bike. I'm not too sure. They just sent the code to me last night, and I started updating all the old videos to put the code in there. But yeah, go check it out and see how much you guys save. Maybe you guys can even let me know. I haven't even tried it yet. It's code MrCentralDriver on Aerial Rider's website, and you can use it for any type of bike. It doesn't have to be the Kepler. You can use it for the Grizzly or the X-Class. But it really helps me out. It helps the channel out, and I really appreciate you guys. And let me update you when I get to my house. All right, so there we have it, 53%. So how the hell did we do 10% going to work and we're at 90? And then we went through how much? 47%? No, not that much. Is that right? That's not right. Yeah, no, 37% on the way home. How does that happen? I don't understand. And yeah, so 9.9 miles after I reset it, that's inaccurate, but cool little bike, or actually I should say big bike. It's pretty big. I'm telling you guys, like it's massive. Make sure you have room for it at your house, and I'll see you guys in the next video. We'll be making more content of it. I'll take it to work again, and I'll see you guys. And stay tuned if you guys want to see what's going to happen with these scratches.